Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth installment of our series in quarantine webinars. My name is Terry Drillich, and I'm one half of the DMC team for the Detroit area, handling Michigan and Indiana. The Midwest region DMC team would like to thank you in advance for viewing this webinar. The focus of this presentation is on best practices for fixed operation landing pages, maximizing your service GMB listing, and also posting service specials to your website. As always, the intent of these webinars is to improve your customer engagement. In today's environment, these three subjects are very important in aiding a customer in their quest to obtain service for their vehicles. It is our hope that you will enjoy the content and find it useful. With that, Nick, let's get it started.
Hi, everybody. Again, this is Nick Kubik. I'm the Indianapolis area DMC. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fixed op website and landing pages. While most dealers have very nice home pages, customers spend very little time there unless they're purchasing a car. And plenty of people are doing that, especially now when they're at home and they have time on their hands. But over half of the visitors to your average dealer website is there for service-related information. Most of the time that is spent on a website is sales related, as I said, but in the information, the content that we create isn't usually focused on fixed ops. Those pages are usually an afterthought, and many times they're disjointed and cumbersome, and they lead to a very poor customer experience. We want to help balance that out by showing you some ways to improve the customer experience on the service and parts side, and help increase your chances of earning more business and more income, and of course, improve the overall customer experience. How we're going to do that is we're going to look at a couple of companies that are out there. They're very familiar to all of us, and what they do, and they do very well on their websites. So first of all, you want to make sure that you brand your store and do it very, very well. And you want to clearly outline the services that you offer. Here's one of the most important parts. You want to allow quick and easy navigation so people can get to where they want to go when they need to get there. And you want to make it clear and obvious that that's where that customer is going. And of course, optimize to make sure that everything is ready for Google. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Some other opportunities you have, you can personalize your store by using video, talk about what makes you so great, add to that brand story about your service department. Make sure that all of the detailed services are included in everything that you do, what the customer can expect. That goes in line with educating your customer. What should they do? What should they expect? Then make sure you want to answer all of the frequently asked questions that your customers might come up with. That way you have more information on your website and the customer can easily find that information quickly. Link to your appointments, that's obvious. Most of us have that on our homepage already, but make sure you have it in multiple other areas as well. And again, optimize, optimize, optimize. You'll hear that over and over again. So when it comes to Google, you want to make sure that you're prepared for all searches. Make sure that the fixed ops landing pages are present and optimized both for customer experience as well as search. So when the customer clicks on related links, they'll bypass the homepage and get to the information they want quickly. And make sure it's navigable, and the content will encourage them to visit your store for all of their service related needs. And speaking of Google, Bill is going to talk to us a little bit about Google My Business.
Thanks, Nick. So I'm sure you've heard from all of us DMCs here for quite a while now about optimizing our Google My Business listings. And what we've been really focused on is optimizing the main sales listing. So overall, you guys have done a great job with that. And the next step in the process now is starting to optimize our service and our parts listings that were created by Google in most instances. So why is this important? What happens in Google is if they're seeing more and more searches that are near me. And what that does is actually pulls up listings based on Google Maps instead of your standard SEO links. So when people are going to Google Maps, as you can see here, I pulled Phoenix up, you'll see it ranks all the service center listings and not the main sales listings. And when you're taking a look at some of these, the main things to notice are the amount of reviews is much, much less than we're seeing on our main listings. And the overall scores on aggregate are much less. So by boosting reviews, we boost the scores and make these listings more relevant in maps. And In addition, we want to make sure that all of our information is here for our service departments as well. So if these people are searching on mobile, they can actually access our store very easily. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Eric so he can talk about what we can do to optimize these listings.
Thanks, Bill. So optimizing your Google My Business service department pages, it's super important because of everything that Bill just mentioned, and because when it is optimized, you're going to show up for those non-branded searches as well as branded searches much more frequently. So let's talk about what you have to do to optimize your service listing. So first of all, I'm gonna just go right down the bullet points, and every time I have an X, I'm gonna point up to the right. So first of all, make sure you have one that's claimed and or created, meaning Google sometimes creates service pages for you or a parts page for you. And so if it's already made, you just have to claim it. And if nothing is made, then you have to create one. The correct nomenclature is dealer name plus Nissan service. So you're going to see a red X to the right over there because it just says Nissan service. That could be a Band-Aid because sometimes Google might mix up listings if they don't have the correct primary category set. But the correct way to do it would be if your dealership is, let's say it's Fayetteville Nissan, you'd want to be Fayetteville Nissan service. So the primary category, like I just mentioned, you always want to set that to auto repair shop. If you put it to Nissan dealer, you're going to have huge issues with your GMB hierarchy. And then looking to the right, we want to make sure that we want to have a phone number that's correct for service. If you have a direct line to service, use that one. If you have a line that hits the phone tree, use that one if that's your only option. But more direct to service, the better. Service hours and holidays set within Google. That way when somebody actually searches for you, and this is a huge issue that we see as DMCs, if you just see a search for, let's say it's, again, Fayetteville Nissan, you might see your sales listing, but if they type into search Fayetteville Nissan oil change, because they want to get the oil change, but you've got sales hours that show instead of service because you don't have any of this department stuff done, you might show that sales opens at 9 despite your service location opening at 7 a.m. So it's a huge issue, which this optimization that we're talking about right now cures. So all links should be completed and UTMs tagged. There's a lot here. There's a website, an appointment, a menu, and many more. So if you have any questions on this, make sure you reach out to your DMC. So photos, I have another nice red X up there. We want to make sure that we have really high quality photos. This is our profile page. It's our dating profile, if you will. People are going to make some snap decisions and judgments based on what they see right here. So if you have a bad profile picture, you're going to have people that look right past you think you're not a professional business. So some ideas for better improved pictures would be happy clientele and strong imagery showing people in the actual service lounge and waiting areas, as well as if you have a service bay with nice lifts and big fans or whatever else people might see is interesting. You want to make sure you have some high quality pictures of those as well. Lastly, there's a few pieces that you can actually add in. You can have now some products with pricing. So if you do oil changes, that can be added as a product, which all dealers do. Brakes, tires, you don't have to include pricing, but those products listings, again, contact your DMC. They can actually deep link into your website. So if you do have, let's say, a tire page, you can link directly to the tire page in your website from the product listing. So it's really neat stuff. Lastly, create Google posts, and we want to do that so when we have a Google post, say it's a service offer that we're going to do for the month, because again, this isn't a sales page. We can say, hey, this month only, buy an oil change, get a 4-tire rotation complimentary with this post coupon. Really simple stuff like this. And the recommendation, like Bill said, all the way to the right, you're going to see that 2 Google reviews, because most people don't push any reviews to these sites. The goal is to shoot for about 50. So if you can do that, you're on the right track. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric. It is always great stuff. And you know, Nick had alluded to is we're always focused on the sales side of the website, and even more so with, you know, new car, used car specials. And people forget about service specials. Think about how many times a customer is coming to your site to look specifically for service, and more importantly, to see what type of specials you have, because you are being compared to other areas of business as far as like the dealer tires, the Jiffy Lubes. So get serious about specials. Specials are difficult to get right online. A bad specials page it can look like a coupon page straight out of a direct mailer, but even most don't do the deal justice. When you're combining and making these specials, think about what you want the customer to do next. We have a couple examples here on the right. You see ideal special pages should be clear and immediately communicate the essential details, as well as the important criteria like which vehicles qualify, what's the expiration date. Auto dealer websites, they should allow for shoppers to sort track and find specials as easily as they would find a vehicle. You'll see an example here. One has a video in it even explaining what the cooling system service is and what the service actually entails that they do. So what do you want them to do next? Do you want them to schedule service? Do you want them to print out a coupon? And another step to take is make sure you're creating these specials most of the time from your internet sales manager or marketing department. Communicate that back over to the service department, what the specials are, so they can speak to these specials intelligently when they're on the phone and when the customer is standing right in front of them. And with that, I want to point out that why we would post service specials on your website. Make sure your specials, make sure they're seasonal. Have a click to call CTA on the special. Make sure all specials are mobile friendly. Everybody's using their mobile phone. Use an UTM tag on each coupon so you can measure how each campaign is working. No sense in putting extra work in there if you don't know that anybody's actually looking at that campaign. Link it back to your service scheduler. Show the savings or discount offered to the customer. If you have a regular price of $59.99 and it's on sale for $49.99, make sure that's noted there. Make sure you have a disclaimer if there are conditions. And then use these specials and post them to Facebook and Google My Business. Continue to drive traffic back towards your service department and to your website. Your website should have a drop-down tab listing for your specials for parts and service. And if you have a video explaining the service offered, include it on the special. And then last one, and it is very, very important, make sure the expiration dates are listed. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Terry to close us out. Thanks to everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, Matt. And that was all great information. And what I'd like to talk about is what your next steps are. Please, if you have any questions and would like assistance in any of these or all of these items, feel free to reach out to your DMC. All of us here are here to help you through these trying times and help you drive more traffic to your business. All I can say is stay safe, and we'll see you the next time.